Is it going to happen? Finally happen? Are we going to finally find out the truth of what happened on November 2020 during the election? Hopefully we find out. I mean, for some of us in this country, we've known the truth. I remember watching, because I live in Hawaii, so we're like the last state as far as time zone to vote. Well, there's Guam too, but anyway, we're one of the last states, and Guam's not really a state. But so I remember watching while most of America was asleep. I remember watching the results come in, and I remember seeing when they supposedly closed the polls in Georgia, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Arizona, you know, when they closed the polls, how after that, when they're supposed to be not counting, again, the first time that this has happened in an election where they stopped counting, they sent people home. No, we're going to continue counting tomorrow. And then the totals started changing, and all in favor of the dodo in fucking charge right now. Now, theoretically, it could have happened that all those votes that are being counted when they were supposedly not being counted, that came in, that all those votes supposedly went for fucking Biden, or the grand majority of them, you know, and that's what flipped the election. Theoretically, supposedly, you know, that could have happened. But in all likelihood, no, it couldn't have happened unless it was artificial. I mean, let's remember, he was leading by hundreds of thousands of votes in some of those states. I believe Pennsylvania and Georgia, he was leading by hundreds of thousands of votes. Yeah, the chances of Joe Biden overtaking him was slim to none. You know, especially Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania was the biggest one. Now, it basically came down to those 5 counties in those 5 states. Maricopa, Fulton, all these counties in those 5 states, the battleground states. And it wasn't like it came down to the whole state total. It came down to 5 counties, okay, which are the majority of them major cities: Detroit, Pittsburgh, Atlanta, Phoenix. These are major cities, and they're all run by the Democrats. All battleground states all had funky fucking counting it in the middle of the night when nobody was supposed to be counting. Because remember, those states weren't called, the polls were closed because they said, oh, it's time to go home, even though that's never happened before. So I watched it happen because, like I said, I live here in Hawaii and I saw it. The totals all went up for Joe Biden and didn't even move for Donald Trump. Even when they were saying, when they were closing it, like that Pennsylvania is probably going to go to Donald Trump. There's no chance for Biden. Pretty much everybody was saying that. Right? Well, okay, that's funny. That's weird. Because then when America woke up the next morning, it was all for Joe Biden. Okay. Then you had the reports of the poll workers. You had video of them putting up barriers so you couldn't see into the fucking polling station. You had the videos of the lady running the stack of ballots through the counter over and over again, the same stack of ballots. Reports, sworn affidavits all over the country about funny shit happening. The fact that Donald Trump won all of the bellwether, what I mean by bellwether is like When the president wins the presidency, he wins these bellwether fucking counties. He won every single one and still lost the election. All these things, you put all these things together. The fact that they changed the voting laws in all of those battleground states because of COVID restrictions. They changed the voting laws. All of those states that are in question. That's against the Constitution in some of those states, namely Pennsylvania. All of that. The fact that Joe Biden got more fucking votes, allegedly, than Barack Obama. The fact that Donald Trump had the highest vote count by any Republican president ever, even more than Reagan. All these things together, you know. Oh no, it's a conspiracy theory. Oh no. It's like the Democrats challenged the fucking election in 2016. But when the Republicans do it, no, it's no good. It's a conspiracy theory. You throw all this together, there is in the words of the Chauvin jury, reasonable doubt. No, they just brushed it over. No, it's all a conspiracy theory. Joe Biden won fair and square. The guy never came out of his basement the whole time. Right? The guy can't even read off a teleprompter. The guy has made racist statements all through his political career. This is all verified. This is all, you can go look it up. The man is blatantly racist. The fact that there's a picture of him with the head of the KKK, right? Robert Byrd, whatever his name is, go look it up. Right? All these things together. But we're not supposed to question it. We're supposed to go along with it. How they totally censored the story on his son. Now, if that had been a story about Donald Trump's son, that had come out, the allegations that was made on Hunter Biden, that would have been on the news cycle 24/7 for months on end. But it comes out for Joe Biden and bam, it's just crushed. Facebook actively censors it. All these things, you put all these things together. All we want as the American public is the truth. That's all we want. So when these GOP freaking people in Arizona push for this audit and don't fucking listen to the media, right? Don't be intimidated, okay? And it starts to come out, you see the true colors. Because if the Democrats had nothing to hide about this election, they would be like, here's all the ballots, you guys count them. Here it is, you guys figure it out. They have been fighting this tooth and nails. They've been using lawyers, they've been using the judicial system, they've been fighting it. In the media, they've been fighting it hardcore. If they really had nothing to hide, why would they fight it so bad? That's a glaring question right there. Right? If it was truthfully the most secure election, why not just turn it all over and say, here you go? The Republicans would end up with mud on their face. It'd be that simple. Especially if you have nothing to hide. If you have nothing to hide, it's like, here you go. You know? If the police wanted to search my home, I'd go ahead, search it. Where's your search warrant? Okay, you got a search warrant? Okay, go ahead. If I had nothing to hide, I'd be like, go ahead. If they probably got a search warrant on your house, you probably did something wrong. But I'm just saying, I got nothing to hide. And neither should the Democrats, if it's supposedly the secure election. That they've been fighting it. Tooth and nail, they've been fighting it. Every time there's been a question, fight it. Deflect. I mean, again, all those things I listed earlier, and the fact that the Democrats are not even willing to cooperate this much, there is something fishy. And again, this report could come out, this audit, it could come out, and it could be true. Hey, The Democrats won. And then we could put it to bed. Then we could put it to bed and be like, that's it. It's over. They did the audit. And it's done with. Only after they do the audit. Not before. See, they've been fighting. Like I said, they've been fighting it over every which way they can fight it. When the DNC found out that the Republicans weren't going to fucking back down and they were going to go forward with this Maricopa County audit, who'd they send down? 70 fucking lawyers to find some kind of legal loophole to stop this. And they tried. They tried filing motions. And you got to hand it to the judges in that state. They said, no, we're going to do this. And then Dominion, not wanting to hand over the passwords. Again, you put all these things together. If they were really innocent of what the Republicans are accusing them of, if they were really innocent, they would do none of this. They would turn it all over. Here's the ballots. Here's the voting machines. Here's the passwords. Go ahead. Nope. So, I'm sorry. I'm convinced. If you're not convinced, then you got your head in a fucking hole. If you're not convinced. So, again, we can make the declaration after the audit's done. If the audit's done and it shows, just in that one county, if it shows that Joe Biden didn't win the presidency in that county, well then now you got to question everything. You have to. Because that's just one county. And again, some of these states were razor thin. Razor thin. One county, couple counties here could sway it. Especially in Arizona. Now, Arizona's not enough electoral votes for him to flip it. But what about Georgia? Because now they're going to do one in Georgia. Hey, Arizona, Georgia, maybe Pennsylvania. See, Pennsylvania, they fought that thing tooth and nail. And I don't even know the legal ramifications of this. What if it turns out that yes, the audit finds that yes, they cheated, and that Joe Biden is not legitimately the president? What happens then? What happens then? Because the Democrats control Congress, they control the White House, you know, they don't control the Supreme Court though. And that's a good thing. And hopefully the Supreme Court has the balls to do the right thing, because that's what it will come down to is the Supreme Court. But, I mean, how long is that going to take? I hope to God, like I said, either way it happens. If it turns out that yes, legitimately he won, there's some funky shit, but no, legitimately he won the presidency, then fine. You put it to bed forever. And again, there was too much funky shit going on. Too much. And I think that's what their strategy was. Their strategy was to do funky shit all over the country and just do so much of it that it was overwhelming. There's no way Donald Trump and the Republicans could sift through all that shit and find the actual smoking gun, right, in time before Joe Biden was inaugurated. It didn't help on January 6th because there was some Republicans that were going to stand up and challenge the vote. But then that happened conveniently for the Democrats, and then they all backed down because nobody wanted to be seen as, inciting an insurrection. So that's unfortunate, but still, this audit is the whole thing. If this shows, truthfully, that Joe Biden didn't win the presidency, then that's it. That should be the end of the ball game right there. That should be enough to wake up some of these moderates, because you're not going to wake up the fucking hardcore Democrats. You're not. Even you could tell them the sky is blue, and if fucking they believed it was green, they would still believe it. You know what I mean? So no, you're not going to convince the hardcore Democrats because they've been conditioned by decades. This goes before Donald Trump. They've been conditioned by decades to think the other party is evil and that the other party has nothing to offer. The other party is liars and blah, blah, blah. Because for decades they've been conditioned to be like this. So you're not going to convince them. It's the moderates. And that's who really decide elections anyway. It's not the Democrats or the Republicans. It's a big myth of elections. You don't have to convince the Democrats. You don't have to convince the Republicans. Elections are basically for moderates. That's who you're trying to convince. Guy is not sure. Hopefully this shows them, if it turns out that he didn't win the election, it shows these moderates that they've been lied to by these people. And if it turns out that the election was stolen, what does this say about our country? Look what they've tried to do. You know? And I don't know how it would work out. It'd be the biggest scandal ever. There'd be nothing that could top it. Nothing. This would be the biggest political scandal ever. And again, where there's smoke, there's fire. And there's plenty fucking smoke. Again, I go back to what I said. If there's nothing to hide, then why are you guys fighting this so hard? Again, that convinced it for me. Well, I was convinced when I saw those fucking vote totals. You know? When I saw those vote totals, I was convinced. Again, you have to remember, America was sleeping. Here in Hawaii, we were still up and we were still watching the tube. And we saw this happen live. And I remember talking to my conservative buddy, and we both saw this, and we both texted each other and said, "Did you just fucking see this?" And we were both like, "What the fuck?" I mean, another question is, what happens after this? What does the country do? Because it might take years in a legal process to get this through. I mean, what do? Do you impeach the guy? Again, it would have to be proven in a court of law. So it's unknown what this does. Do they censor people? I don't know. You can't deny it. If they're hand counting it, you can't deny it. If they go through it and they find signatures are bad, you know, these people don't even exist, these people are dead, you know, you got to take away all those votes. Yet again, it would be, this never happened before. And then another argument is like, well, this shit goes on every election. It's true. There's shenanigans in every election. I mean, you have to be a dummy not to admit that. But I don't think on this scale, to flip a presidency, hey, here in Hawaii, we're a Democratic state. We've been a Democratic state for how long? Since before I was born. But anyway, I remember leading up to the election, I saw Trump flags. Even here in Hawaii, I saw Trump flags everywhere. I saw people with Trump signs, people driving down the freeway with Trump flags. I seen people wearing the red hat. I saw it everywhere. Everywhere. I didn't see one Joe Biden sign. I didn't see one Joe Biden bumper sticker. Nothing. Nothing. I remember the election before. There was a little bit of Trump stuff here before, but it was majority Hillary Clinton. I saw Hillary Clinton shit everywhere here in Hawaii in 2016. Not this time. This time I did not see one Joe Biden bumper sticker, not one Joe Biden flag, not one Joe Biden lawn sign, nothing. Nothing. But I saw Trump everywhere. Every day I saw Trump. Red hats all over the place. And that's just here in tiny Hawaii. I know people say this all over the country. All over the country. There's too much shit. Georgia's on the fucking East Coast. Texas is in the middle of the country. Texas is, what, the second most populous state in the nation. They were done counting, and Georgia was still counting until the next day. They didn't call Georgia for how many weeks? Yet Texas, who has a way bigger population, was done counting the very day of the election. Explain that to me. Explain that. questions, too many fucking anomalies, too much riffraff, period. And if you're an American who actually loves your country and believes in justice, then this should be important to you. I mean, I have a lot of liberal friends who could give a flying fuck. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it because you know why? Their dream came true. The orange man got out of the fucking office and things went back to normal. I don't know about you. Have you been living in the same country I'm living in? Because ain't nothing normal about what's going on right now. Ain't nothing normal. From the policies to the reversing of everything that Trump did, there's nothing normal about what's going on. Yet, that's what that man ran on. A return to normalcy. Oh, I know what you mean by normal. Normal of the Democrats doing their dirty tricks, if that's what you mean by normal. I don't know. Hopefully the truth comes out. That's all we have, the truth. Again, will that matter? Because they're already dug in like ticks. Why do you think the first things of his policy was changing the election law, changing the immigration? Right? That has nothing to do with humanitarian shit, nothing to do with helping black people vote, and everything to do with getting more voters on their side. Doesn't matter whether they're illegal, whether they're ignorant, it doesn't matter. It's all about getting votes. Traffic on a Saturday. Will you guys finally wake up? Will this be enough for you to finally go, you know what? We're done. We're done with this. We're done with critical race theory. We're done with being lied to. We're done with being manipulated. Is this going to be enough to wake you fucks up that still believe in this fucking empty rhetoric? That still believe that these guys are on your side? They're not. Look what they're doing to this country. Two years ago, we were energy independent. For the first time in decades, we were energy independent. Joe Biden fucking reversed that in under 3 months. Have you seen the price of gas? I know you guys are complaining because you guys are paying more money, but you know, here in Hawaii, we've been paying $1, $1.50 more than you guys on the fucking mainland for decades. So I don't know, boo-hoo, that's what I say to that. And every American should be pissed off right now about this because the inflation, inflation happens all the time, right? But this is a direct result of Joe Biden's policies. I am a carpenter. That's my profession. I rely on buying construction material. Well, when I have to tell a client that, you know what, construction materials are now 300% more, they're not going to want to do the project because, like that, you know, people don't have an infinite amount of money. Some do, but not everybody. I lost a job just in these last 3 months, a potential job. I told them the price of the project. They're like, I can't afford that. What am I supposed to do? I can't affect the price of fucking materials. It is what it is. you so much. Again, Xing out jobs. Hopefully you guys wake the fuck up. But I don't have much faith in half the country. Because half the country are truly idiots.